Hey, hello and welcome. Glad that you're here. Welcome on this Thursday night. Hey, where could you be? What could you be doing? Actually, I could be at a Predators hockey game. Someone gave me 2 tickets, but hey, I'm here and I'm glad to be here and glad that you're here. Someone asked in the beginning, how long is this going to take? So my part of it should be 30 minutes or less, and uh, and when I get done, we'll take Q&A, and I'll be here as long as you want to be. Hopefully, not a few hours, but if you've got more questions, then we'd love to be able to help. So just a few things before we get started. If you have a question, I'm getting ready to show a PowerPoint, so I won't be able to see the Q&A or the chat. But if you have a question, you can put it in the chat or you can put it in the Q&A. Q&A is private. No one will see your name. If you registered in your name, then you may see your name in there. But either way is fine. So if you have a question while I'm teaching, go ahead and put it in. And then at the end, I'll answer any question that you have. All right. So, hey, welcome. We're glad you're here. Got a good group of people. Let me hit share screen and then go to the PowerPoint and we will jump right in. All right. So the title is How to Never Fight with Your Spouse Again. All right. Let me know if you can see the slides. It says you can. So hopefully that you can. If you just type in the chat, if someone would do yes, we can see the slides. So, how to never fight with your spouse again. Here's a simple way: don't get married. Okay. Don't get married. Just kidding. This is how to not fight with your spouse again. So we want to help people that are married. If you don't know me, I was a paratrooper before I surrendered to preach. I've been 35 years ago, jumping out of those perfectly good C-130s and C-141s. That's at Pope Air Force Base right outside of Fort Bragg. Getting ready to jump. There's my beautiful wife. We've been married for 34 years. Her name is Laura, and we have 11 children. This is back when we had one that was married. So our 11 children with one. And then this is almost us now. Three of the ladies here are expecting in this picture. So we have three more grandchildren. So 11 children and 11 grandchildren. That's what God has blessed us with. And we love it. It is exciting. So let me jump just to make sure. I'm going to um, stop share just for a minute. I want to make sure that somebody commented, and yes, you could see the slides. So hopefully that you can. And all right, good. So, all right, go back to share screen. I would hate to get through this and go, hey, we couldn't see you. So, um, so these are our 11 children and our 11 grandchildren. So, how to never fight with your spouse again. One of the big problems is we're fighting the wrong person. God says we wrestle not against flesh and blood. Listen, your wife, your husband is flesh and blood. When we're fighting them, we are not fighting the devil who we're supposed to fight. In school, do you ever remember you're in those rows and we would go in the line here? I would go in the line beside me and flick the outside ear of the guy in the next row. When he'd turn around to see the guy behind him, he wouldn't see me. They would get into a fight and we would sit back and watch. Isn't that horrible? Guess what Satan does? He stirs up husband against wife, lets them fight, and he sits back and loves it. Okay. There's a lot more on this point, but you got to understand when we're fighting the wrong person, then we are never going to win. Okay. So, does it work when you fight the wrong person? Absolutely not. Will this lesson work? Yes, it will. Marital disagreements are always going to be there. We're different. Okay. Even the secular book, Men are from Mars, Women are from Venus. We're different people. We're not the same, but there does not have to be fights. So, how do you fight? Okay, when you go through a disagreement, a discussion. In the Army, we called it wall to wall counseling. What is that? That's where the drill sergeant throws you from this wall to this wall. Okay, hopefully it doesn't go that way. But in your mind or answer, how do you handle things when you guys disagree? Sit down quietly, peaceably, and fix a problem. Hopefully that way. Yelling. We're not yelling. You raise your voice. The other spouse thinks you're yelling. How about this? The quiet treatment. What's wrong? Nothing. Oh, yeah, there's something. There's something wrong. How do you handle the fight? Physical? I've been called into some of those situations. That is not good. Well, just hold it in, never get it fixed, thinking it's not worth it, but you're building up a wall between the husband and wife, and it's going to cause problems. How do you handle a fight? In Bible college and church education, they taught us 5 major problems of marriage: children, finances, in laws, outlaws, any outside influence on the marriage, religion, and intimacy. And so I took my notes, and now I'm a pastor counseling people. I started realizing there's a gigantic one that wasn't mentioned called communication, being able to talk. So many times I'd come home and I'd say, boy, they can't even work through a problem. It is just, it elevates it so quickly. They can't talk and work through a problem. So went to God and said, God, would you please help me? I need a plan to help people. So we take that small problem, and when we don't communicate right, it elevates it and makes it a big problem. Little joke. Why do you have to make a mountain out of every molehill every time we argue, Harold? And that's what happens. That problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger. UFC, when it started, okay, there were only 3 rules for fighting. 3 when it started. I've got the DVD for UFC 1 and UFC 2. The 3 rules were no eye gouging, no kicking in the groin, no biting. Okay. Those literally were the only 3 rules. There was only a $1,500 fine if you did one of those. Now there are 31 infractions of things you can't do. You know what's sad? The UFC in the beginning, by the way, this was banned in most states. The UFC in the beginning had more rules than most husbands and wives have. Than most husbands and wives have. What are the rules you have for a disagreement? None. We never set up any. Exactly. And when you don't have rules, it's very quickly to escalate this where you have a big problem. So many times problems start out as something small. We don't handle it right. It escalates it. They don't handle it right. And pretty soon you had a size 3 problem and now it's a 10 because we didn't handle it right. So tonight I've got 3 rules. Ready? 3 rules for fighting. Okay. Again, we don't want you to fight, but those disagreements, 3 rules for them. What are your rules? What do you have? So, survey question: will this work? How to calm an angry woman? Just tell her to calm down. Okay, does that work? I think you know. No, that does not work. Here's a philosophy in this counseling. Um, the philosophy is: are you sitting down? Are you sitting down? If you go to the hospital, you get some tests, and they do the test. They call you back the next day, and if it's bad, then they say, are you sitting down? Are they really afraid you're going to pass out? No, but they ask, are you sitting down? Why? They're preparing you that what you're getting ready to hear could be bad. Proverbs 22:3 and Proverbs 27:12. A prudent man, someone who's wise all the time, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And so that is what happens. We need to foresee the evil and hide ourselves. We need to see, hey, this could be a potential problem, and let's make sure we go around it. You see a tire in the middle of the road, you slow down, you go around it, you don't just hit it. That's what we want to do in marriage and marriage counseling and conflict communication, to see the potential problem and guide around it so we don't have it. Little boy there, are you sitting down? Doc says it's cooties he's got. So the problem may start small, but if we're not careful, it will escalate way out of control. So you want to make sure before you bring up the problem that they're, quote, sitting down, okay, relaxed and chill. That's what we want to make sure that you are, because if we're not ready, then it escalates very quickly. What are the potential problems? You know what they are. If you bring up this, we're going to have a fight. You bring up this, we're going to have a fight. Whether it's children or finances or religion or in-laws or mother-in-law, whatever it is, you know, if you've been married for a while, you know what the potential problems are. How do you know that? Because you've already had them. All right. So what we do is you get to decide. The husband gets to decide and the wife gets to decide when, where, and how those problems get caught up. All right. Rule number 1, when. All right. Let's say that I need to talk to my wife about something, and it could be a mess. So she has a win that I talk to her. This is not as big of a deal, but it's still important. When? How come? When do you bring up the problems? How about if you dealt with problems all day at work? You walk in the door. She goes, about time you're home. The washing machine blew up. The bill collectors are calling, and your children. Do you need to know those problems? Yes. But do you need to know the first step inside the door? No. Okay. Some people, their win is right when they got home. I've dealt with problems at work. I'm going to deal with problems at home and be done. Some people are just after dinner. Look, until I get a hug and a hamburger, I don't want to hear any problems. After dinner, some before bed. We've always had a lot of kids. Our problem is our time to bring up the problem is before bed. Okay. But each person gets to decide their when they want the other person to bring it up. Okay. Rule number two, where. Each person gets to decide where they are when they bring it up. This isn't as big of a deal either, but every little bit helps. So, where do you want to be when they bring up the problem? Relaxed, on the lazy boy, at the kitchen table, in the bedroom. Where do you want to bring this up? Never in front of somebody else. Never, ever, ever. When do you want them to bring the potential problem up? You get to decide. Okay. Our when was always after the kids went to bed. Our where was always in our bedroom. A small house, a lot of kids. That's where ours were. You get to decide. Kitchen table, great place. No, I want to be on my lazy boy. I want to be on the couch. You get to decide where you are when they bring up the problem. All right. And here is the big one, the what. This one is the secret sauce. Okay. The what. This will mentally prepare you to be able to handle the problem that they're going to bring up. It is the what. All right. So here we go. What do you want your spouse to say before they talk to you about something that could cause a problem? What do you want your spouse to say before they talk about something that could cause a problem? What's going to put you in the right frame of mind to be able to handle this the right way? If we're not ready, that 3 goes to a 5, that goes to 7, and man, we got a knockdown drag out. But if they're ready, then they bring the right question up, you answer it the right way, and we're done. We're done. That's what we want. So the homework for this is every person, husband and wife, gets to decide what do you want the other person to say. So what can they say to put you in the right frame of mind to handle and fix a problem the right way? What can they say to not put you on the defensive or on offensive? As we know, there are things we say, and the wall comes up right away. That look comes up right away. What can they say that's going to make you not be defensive or put you on offense the right way? What can they say? You need to decide that. For the woman, make sure it's something that shows her love. Okay, shows her love. Nevertheless, every one of you in particular so love his wife even as himself. The number one thing that a wife needs is to feel loved. I was counseling a couple. I gave them their homework the first week. They came back the second week. I said, "All right, how'd it go?" And he said, "I don't want to say what she wants me to say." Okay, what does she want you to say? She wants me to say, before I bring a problem, beautiful, I need to talk to you about something. Perfect, do it. How come? You're getting ready to bring up a negative. She's going to feel not loved. So when you say, beautiful, I need to talk to you about something, she's going to feel loved. She's going to be in the right frame of mind to handle it the right way. Absolutely do it. So for the wife, what can he say to you to make you feel beautiful so you can accept a potential problem or a criticism or something we need to work on? Okay. The wife, you get to decide what he says. The man, make sure it's something that shows him respect. The rest of that verse is, and the wife, see that she reverence her husband. Most important thing for a woman is to feel loved. Most important thing for a man is to feel respected. Had another couple come in for their second counseling. All right, how'd it go? And she said, I don't want to say what he wants me to say. Oh, really? What does he want you to say? He wants me to say, sir, I need to talk to you about something. And I laughed and I said, let me tell you why. You're getting ready to bring up a negative. He's going to feel disrespected. When you start off with, sir, I need to talk to you about something, he's going to feel like you respect him and it's going to help him to handle the situation better. And they did it. It's amazing how well that worked. So, sir, what can she say to you to make you feel respected? By the way, I told the woman, if you don't like to say sir, you can say what Sarah called Abraham. She called him Lord. And she said, okay, I'll call him sir. I'll call him sir. So, sir, what can she say to put you in the frame of mind to feel respected before she brings up a potential problem? Okay. The whole thing is how well you're ready to handle this situation. Instead of escalating it, she respected you. You listen to the problem, you handle it the right way, and we're done. We're done. That's what we want. Okay. Also use humor. Use humor. Humor is a great tool for a great marriage. A merry heart doeth good like a medicine. Okay. Other verses on a merry heart. Had a couple come in their second time. All right. How was it? And she's like, what he wants me to say. I'm looking at him and he's just grinning ear to ear, like, okay, what is this? And it's like, what does he want you to say? He wants me to say there are strawberries in the pineapple patch. Like, what? Yeah, exactly. And so I looked at him and said, okay, translation. And he said, anytime she comes at me with a problem, then it's always very negative. She has this hard look on her face. He said, I know she can't say there's strawberries in the pineapple patch without laughing. And so when she laughs, that's a smile that puts me in a good mood and I can handle the problem. I said, dude, that is Brilliant, man. Use it, do it. Okay. So think through. My wife and I started this 30 whatever years ago, and ours was simply when after kids were in bed, where in our bedroom. And the statement was, "Hey, honey, I need to talk to you about something." My wife would say, "Honey, I need to talk to you about something." And I would use humor. I would always go, "Okay, great. What did I do now?" And so I would prepare myself for a size 10 problem. It's a size 3 problem. I handle it the right way. We're done. I'm not ready for it. That 3 goes to a 5 to a 7, and hey, it's on. Okay, it's on. There'll be tears or loud or a couch or something's going on. You don't want that. Okay. So every person gets to decide their when, their where, and their how. Okay. You got that? Those are the 3 rules for marriage. Well, what if we got a few of those? What if they don't use my when, my where, and my what? Okay. This needs to be together as a couple. So if husband or wife is watching this tonight, you need to get the replay. We'll send it out. You need to make sure your spouse watches this and you guys agree. This is how we're going to handle marriage problems. So when we agree and they don't bring it up that way, by the way, it'll take a while to get used to this. You want to practice, literally. Once you decide what this is, you want to think of a small problem so you can practice this and get used to that. It's not going to be natural right away. You are most of the time going to start off with the way you used to handle a problem. So when they start off that way, then what you do is with a smile, just put your hand up. With a smile, put your hand up. And the other person will go, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. We agreed we're going to do that. All right. When's your win again? All right. Where's your where? Okay. All right. We'll deal with it then." So just smile and put your hand up. That's it. Just smile and put your hand up. That is the kind way to say, remember, we agreed we're going to handle it this way, and you didn't handle it. My when, my where, and my what. Okay. So with a smile, bring that up. That's how you handle that. So what if we did bring it up the right when, the right where, and the right what, but we still disagree? Then we very simply we table it. What is that? That's the parliamentary procedure, Robert's Rules of Orders. We table it. You got a county commission. They want to build a park. It's going to cost $10 million. They debate it. They're not getting anywhere. One person says, "I make a motion. We table this." I second. They vote on it. Table it means we're going to take that proposal and set it on the table, and we're not going to deal with it till next week or at the next time we get together. In a husband and wife, you got 2 people, 50-50, 5 rounds up. When one person says, "I make a motion, we table it," they see it's not going anywhere, it's passed. Okay, it passes. This will make sure it doesn't escalate out of the place where it's supposed to be. Now, a little caveat here. Whoever makes a motion to table it, which it passes, the other person gets to make the closing argument. Sometimes we go, "All right, I table it," which means the other person can't say anything else. No, if you table it, then they get to make the final closing argument. "All right, before we table it, you want this, and this is why. I want this, and this why, and we're going to table it for now." Well, that doesn't fix anything, and that doesn't feel good. Yes, but it keeps it from escalating, and we are going to fix it. Okay. So, what if they don't use your right when, where, and how? Then just put your hand up. What if they do it, but we still disagree on it? I make a motion, we table it, it passes. The other person gets to make the closing argument. All right. And then last. So, how does it get fixed? How does it get fixed? Later on, if one person changes their mind, then they can bring it up again. And this happens often. An hour or two later, you thought through it, what they said, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. It's not my preference, but I'm okay with that. You can bring it up if you now agree with them. Okay. Now, if later on down the road you thought of 3 other reasons why you're right, okay, no, you can't bring it up then. You can only bring it up when the other person now agrees with you. Okay. If they change their mind, they can bring it up. If not, we've tabled it. And for what? Well, wait. You got to fix it before you go to bed. What about the sun going down upon your wrath? It doesn't have to be fixed before you go to sleep. You just got to make sure you don't have wrath. Okay. Nothing in the Bible said has to be fixed. Okay. It's good if you can fix it before you go to bed, but sometimes some personalities will push to fix it and make a bigger mess out of it. Do we all know people like that? Nope, we're going to fix this right now. Okay, great. That 5 problem, we got a 10 now. Congratulations. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with tabling it. It doesn't have to be fixed tonight. We can talk about it later. We've tabled it. We've agreed to table it. We're not mad. We can enjoy the rest of the evening. Okay. And if you back down like that, many times one of the other people will say, "Okay, I'm fine. Let's do it your way." And we can be that way. If not, so how do we get it fixed? Let me illustrate real quick. What's the most important thing in your life? Money? No. Car? No. House? No. Job? No. What's the most important thing in your life? Would you say your marriage and your family? Marriage and family, the most important thing? I would say that. If your car has a problem, what do you do to get it fixed? We have a car coach. We call it a mechanic. If you have a legal problem, what do you do to get it fixed? We have a legal coach. We call him a lawyer. If you have a health problem, what do you do to get it fixed? We've got a health coach. We call him a doctor. If you got a plumbing problem, what do you do to get it fixed? We have a plumbing coach. We call him a plumber. If you have an electricity problem, how do you get it fixed? We have an electric coach. We call an electrician. Why don't most people have a marriage and a family coach when we said it's the most important thing? Is marriage and family more important than all those other things? But yet, for all those other things, we have a coach. We have somebody, an expert in that area who can help us with those things. But yet, so many people don't have a marriage and a family coach. Most people don't know how to fix them and where to go to get them fixed. 50% of first marriages of unsaved people end in divorce. 50% of marriages and divorce in saved people end in divorce. People think, well, I'll just get rid of this marriage. I'll find someone else, and it'll be okay. 78% of second marriages end in divorce. Okay, you need a health coach. My wife and I got marriage counseling on our honeymoon. We didn't need it. Everything was great, but it came with our honeymoon package as Christian counselor. And he's been our marriage coach for all the years. We've only talked to him a few times. A couple of years ago, we talked to him about something, and it was a blessing, and it was good. My wife had gone to beating me again, and we needed some help with that. But I know I ought to be used to it, but just kidding. By the way, my wife says anytime I joke, I need to tell people I'm joking. If not, someone's going to think think I'm serious. But to be able to have that family coach, it's not bad to have a marriage coach. It's a wise thing to do. But so many times people think, oh no, if I've got a marriage coach or if I get counseling, then it's going to look bad. No, it's going to look good and wise to be able to do. You ever priced a divorce? We price a car, we price a house. Go ahead and price a divorce sometime. $15,000 average for attorneys, child support, alimony, physical costs, emotional costs, family costs, friend costs, spiritual costs, holiday costs, wedding costs. It never ends. So it's worth it to get a marriage coach. Counsel 137 times in the Bible. He that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. Without counsel, purposes are disappointed. Hear counsel, receive instruction, that may be wise in the latter end. If you have a pastor, then see if your pastor will counsel your marriage. Many pastors don't do this anymore. It's hard. It takes time. It's a liability. And honestly, a lot of them aren't good at it. Your dad, your father-in-law, many of them can be a counselor, or uncle, your friend, someone who knows the Bible, who has wisdom, and a good marriage. That's what you're looking for. Someone who knows the Bible, who has wisdom, and has a good marriage. That's what you're looking for. All right. Hey, my part is done in 22 minutes. Okay. So Q&A, if you have a Q&A, I see one here. Open the chat and see if there's anything there. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat or put it in the Q&A. And I'm going to talk for a minute. Your slide's not full screen. We're seeing your PowerPoint. Yes. I did that on purpose. Sometimes it goes full screen. It takes it totally off. So we put that in there. So let me go ahead and do the closing on this. If you have a question, feel free to to pop it in. Now, if you have more marriage issues, this I've seen honestly, this is all most people need. We just need rules so we can fix our own problems. My goal is never to do ongoing long-term marriage counseling. The old joke is with a chiropractor. How many chiropractors does it take to change a light bulb? One, it just takes 20 visits. So many times in marriage counseling and therapy, they want to keep you going and going and going because that's how they get paid. I've never wanted to do that. I want to fix the problems and then be done. Okay. Fix the problems and be done. And so if I can give them the tools to fix their own problems, then they can leave me alone. Okay. And I can go do what I want to do. So that's always been the goal. Let's give them the tools to be able to help. So if you have other marriage issues and you need some help with them, some of them you need someone the table to fix those tabled issues because we're not able to get through those together, whether on finances or communication or religion or intimacy, love and respect, forgiveness, trust. If there's been unfaithfulness, it's hard to get over that without a coach. In-laws, outlaws, child rearing, some of those issues we just butt heads on all the time and we never get those fixed, and it creates a problem there. If you need some help, then I would love to help you. I've opened my calendar up, and I'm going to give anybody that wants it a free, you ready? A free one-on-one or with a couple marriage counseling. That's the link I just put in. Well, let me see. I put it to the wrong one. Put it to everyone. So, all right, there's the link. You can click on that. That's my CUDA calendar. I've opened up as many spaces as I could over the next week. If you would like a free one-on-one, and we can do it on Zoom and meet. By the way, if it's just one of the spouses, I'll still meet with you. Most, I could say over half of the marriage counseling I've done through the last 30 years started off with one, either the husband or the wife saying, saying, hey, we need counsel, but my spouse doesn't want to fix it. They don't want to meet. What do I do? And I take them through a counseling of what they can do to get their spouse on board. And so many times we've been able to fix the marriage problem like that. So, yes, for marriage to be truly fixed, you need both, but many times it starts out with one. So, even if it's only one that wants to fix it, feel free, click on that link and schedule a time. And I would love to be able to help you with that. Okay. So, all right, let's see what other. Is there a recording of this? Can you share your slides? So, yes, I this is recorded, and I'm going to send the replay out to everyone that registered for this. Okay, so you will get that. Okay, and then what do you do when your spouse will not talk to you at all, completely shuts you off? So that is a tough thing to be able to have that. Um, First is prayer, because God can turn the heart. I love it. The heart of the king. That's the ultimate authority. The heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. As rivers of waters, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So you pray where God can turn the heart, where they can open up. Second thing is to be able to put it on yourself, to be able to say, look, I know I've done something. I know I haven't been the best wife or the best husband. I need to work on that. I don't know what to do unless you tell me. Could you tell me what I need to work on so we can get things better? And so that's what I would try on that. If you put it on yourself, then many times we're able to open up. If not, then schedule an appointment with me, and I'll tell you through the whole thing of what we need to do to get them into counsel, and we'll be able to help to do that. Okay. Great question there. Okay. All right. Anybody have a question? We're going to be totally done before the bottom of the hour, which I didn't want to keep you a long time, but I wanted to give you help. If I could pass this on to you and you can learn the skills of communication for conflict communication, you can fix that and never fight with your spouse again. I've had couples that honestly I didn't think it was going to work with. I heard their story. I thought, oh, this is a mess. I would never tell them I didn't think it was going to work, but in my mind, I'm thinking this is not going to work. I had one situation. The wife was so distraught after what happened. She tried to take her own life. She was in the hospital. I went in to see her. She cussed me out and kicked me out of the hospital. Had another guy, he came to see me and said, can you help my marriage? How bad is it? The divorce is final on Friday. This was Wednesday. Oh, great. Thanks for a lot of time. When I walked him out to his truck, the whole bed was full of beer cans. I said, these yours? He said, drank every one of them. I said, you think that caused a problem? He goes, yes, it did. Man, was able to help them and other couples that I did. I had a lady, she got mad into counseling and she walked out and got in her car. And I told the guy, I said, I'll go bring her back. So I walked out there to talk to her. She tried to run me over with the car. Literally, she tried to run me over. We're able to get her back in, get her counsel, get her through this. That was about 15 years ago. They're still happily married and doing well. So many times people think, boy, it's just too far gone. I don't know if there's hope. There can be with God, with wisdom, with the word of God. We can help get those fixed. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I said I would stay on here as long. I have two hands that are raised. I don't know if that's on purpose. There, I don't plan on bringing anybody on live and just in case there, but if you do have a question, feel free to drop it in the chat and be glad to try to answer that here. I said I would stay on as long as someone needed. If husbands need respect and wives need love, but they're not speaking the same language, how do you get them on the same language? So that love and respect is such a big deal, and we don't understand it. Women disrespect men, and they don't have a clue that they did it. Men are unloving to their wives, and they don't have a clue that they were unloving. So there's an exercise we go through to be able to find out for the wife, what can he do to show her love? And when we hear this, like, really? That we're not women. It doesn't make sense to us. The same thing. What can a wife do to show respect, or what does she do that shows disrespect? And wives don't have a clue because it doesn't bother them, but it does for a man. And so to be able to help them to know from the other person what that means, we do have different love languages. We have different ways that we feel respected or disrespected. So those things need to be listed out and mentioned so we can put those together. So the other person says, okay, I don't understand this, but if that's how she understands love, or that's how he understands respect, that I need to do my best to be able to handle that. Because if not, you're right, we are speaking different languages. Okay, great question. Great question for everyone here. All right. All right. I think that's it. I'm going to go and close this. And after it gets done, I'll send it out on an email. I'll also put the link for the marriage counseling in there if you need that. Free, one-on-one. Click the link, schedule a time, and we'll look forward to being able to meet. And hopefully we can help you more with your problems. It's always amazed me how we have someone who can help us with our other broken issues, but yet we don't have someone who can help us with our marriage issues. And we say those are more important. And if we don't get that fixed, literally, it's way worse than any electrical or plumbing problem you have. It's worse than a whole house falling in. It is the home and the family and the children, and it's devastating for life. Okay. All right. Hey, God bless everybody. Thanks for being here. And if I can help you, feel free, click on the link and schedule a one-on-one, and we'll go from there. All right. God bless and take care.